Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, if you'd like to gather round, please, for those that have come and attended here this morning, that are here in support of our libraries, museums, youth services, customer services, adult social services. Basically, you get the hint. Many of our services are currently under threat if the cuts that we fear may get put through an agreement by the council on the 24th. But first of all, as I said, thank you all for coming along and getting petitions signed off. We need to show the strength of feeling that there is with the public to save our services. That's what we have a right to these services for the public, the people of Herefordshire. So what I will do is, I won't go on too long. I'll just say, as I said, thank you for attending. I'm going to hand you over to our regional organiser. Oh no, hang on, to Jan first of all, who works in the libraries, for her to make a few comments. And if anyone else would like to speak, please don't be frightened. Please do come up with you. If you've got a service that you feel passionate about, I'm going to like to say something about it, please do come up.
Hi everybody, can you hear me? Yeah. My name's Jan. I'm not a union official, I'm not a politician, I am a librarian. There aren't that many of us left anymore. In fact, David's told me that we are potentially the next exhibition in the museum, should the museum survive. I wanted to talk to you today because there is a feeling among some people that people will worry that we're just fighting for our jobs. We're not. We're fighting for services for the people of Herefordshire. People use libraries as they use other services in Herefordshire at different times in their lives for different things. They come into our libraries as children and borrow lots of books, and if they do that, your child will be 2.5 months ahead when they start school. They go away, they have busy lives, they come back to us when they're studying, when they want to apply for jobs, when they get older and they need help with applying for benefits, and which are all online now. We are fighting for all our services. You may not need every service every day right now, but your children do, your grandparents do, your neighbours and your friends do, and you might need all the services that are going tomorrow, but they won't be there for you. They're services you have paid for. You pay for them not just with your council tax. You pay every time you do your weekly shop, every time you fill your car, every time you look at your pay packet, if you're still lucky enough to have one, and look at all the taxes that are going out of that, you are paying for your local services. Don't let anybody tell you you're not. Keep our services. Somebody told me the other day, this is like Dr. Beeching for local government. How many places around Hereford do we look and say, I wish we still had a station because it would bring money into the city, into the town, into the county, but they've gone. If you let these services go now, they will be gone forever. You won't get them back. And when you need them tomorrow, they won't be there. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I just want to say thank you. I can't really add anything to what's been said already, but I just want to thank the people who signed the 38 Degrees petition. Unfortunately, the part of the site that sends out emails to say thank you is down at the moment, so we've been shot in the foot rather. But thank you very much, and keep tweeting, keep sharing on Facebook and get the message out there. We'd like to get to 7,000. The figure at which the council have to respond. So let's keep it going. We're over 5,000 already. Thank you.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to start off by using a cheesy line from a film now. It's from the Ghostbusters film, and it's basically, who are you going to call when you need some help? Because customer services are under threat as well. We deal with everything coming into the council, so council tax, when the libraries have their valued days off, we're there to help them as well by taking a few calls. We deal with pest control, we deal with everything that you have problems with, we're there. Misbins, you name it. They want to cut some of our jobs, direct you online, to use online forms, which not everybody's okay with. Not everybody has a computer, which again draws back to the libraries as well. If they disappear, how's everybody going to use the online forms? So it's a vicious circle. Customer services, libraries, museums, we're all linked together. We all need your help to save the services. So please sign our petitions. Thank you.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Councillor Chris Chappell, your only Labour councillor on Herefordshire Council, and I'm here to support you today, as I always am at every Unison protest, and I intend to join you on as many pickets as I can whenever you set them up. Now, we must remember that it's not just about libraries, but about the 140 of our comrades, brothers and sisters who are working in health and social care. We must remember also the 100 people designated in the other services, in IT and communications, all of whom have their jobs threatened. It's not just this administration, but it is the Conservative Liberal Democrat government in Westminster who don't care anything at all about the small people down in the rural areas. They couldn't care less about us. They're far too interested in saving their skins at the next election. But we in Herefordshire have lost millions of pounds because our two members of Parliament are too busy supporting this government. Now that has got to stop. You can protest and you will find me not behind you, shoulder to shoulder, and on occasions in front of you. It's every one of us who's going to be affected. You who have elderly parents, you're going to need social services. And yes, child grooming goes on in Herefordshire, and yes, those children need protecting. Who is going to protect them if there is nobody from social care left with the experience? But over the next few days, weeks and months, we will make sure that every home in Herefordshire is aware of the appalling situation that has happened because of lack of funding. Now, I am the first to accept that the previous Labour government didn't help us as much as they should have done. But we're back now. We've got a new leader, and Labour MPs across the country are girding up to do what they can to help local government workers who are the backbone of every community. My colleagues Alfred Ball in Birmingham is having to make horrendous cuts. Not that he wants to, but he took over from a Conservative stroke Liberal Democrat council who had run Birmingham City Council down. All the fault of government now. So please, please, come to the meeting on Friday. You, your friends, your family, come to the meeting on Friday. Let the councillors know where you stand. But remember, this is not a battle for Friday. It's a battle that is going on and on and on. Only the Labour Party in Herefordshire, over the last two elections, has had in its manifesto an idea to save the libraries by having the Hereford Centre. We may have to set up a trust to do it, but we will do it. And members of the party, John Hitchin I'm thinking about in particular, from Hereford Library users, I'm sure you know him, who has had this plan and showed it to council over the last few years, and they've ignored it. Well, now is the time to bring that plan out, and I, as the Labour councillor on Herefordshire Council, will be at the forefront and hope to have meetings shortly with your Unison officers to ensure that we keep a library and a museum service. So go home later, tell your family and friends that you were here today, tell them that we haven't even started yet campaigning for the people of Herefordshire. Thank you.
Well, good morning everybody. Thank you so much for turning out. When we first lobbied Herefordshire Council, when the first cuts budget was proposed in February, there were 6 people. Between February and now, when there is a greater threat to public services in Herefordshire than we have ever seen in a century. That's not my words, that is the Chief Executive, the new Chief Executive of Herefordshire Council. We will be seeing once in a century life-changing ways and threats to the way public services are delivered. So to have 40 of us here today is great, it's growing, and we want to double that number and more by the time we get to the special council meeting this Friday at Shire Hall. At Shire Hall this Friday, the 24th of May, there will be a special full council session which will be debating and discussing the whole of the future of Herefordshire's public services and how it is delivered, in the sense that there will be an amendment to February's budget which will be talking of a massive cuts and closure programme and revision to the way services are delivered. Potentially it could mean up to, over the next 2 years, 400 job losses in Herefordshire Council. Why? Why is this happening? Number one, we get an appalling deal in Herefordshire from central government. It is a scandal that in Herefordshire we get a rate support grant coming back per head of population which is 13% below the national average. That has got to change. But will the 2 MPs for Herefordshire and the Conservative administration of this council be leading that? We want to see more action on that. But the fault doesn't lie just there. The fault lies in central government cutting rate support grant, central government grant to councils right across the country. That's why local government is in crisis right across this country, because of the appalling austerity measures which the government are forcing through. Now there's a massive schism developing between central government and local government. And our job, your job as Unison members, because we are at the forefront now in being the opposition to the attack on public services. We need the wider public with us, and it's fantastic to have the support which has emerged for the 38 degrees petition in support of libraries. 3,000 people signing in 3 days, growing every day. And we've got celebrities like Joe Brand lining up and wanting to come and support us on that. We need to build as many alliances as we possibly can in order to oppose what we are confronting. So, is there an alternative? We believe there is. In Unison, we have called for a very, very close examination of the finances of this council. We are looking to how we can work with the local councils in the towns across Herefordshire to look to see whether they will be willing to take on some of the services, whether they will be prepared to go to their communities and say, okay, shall we increase the precept in Ross, in Hereford City, in Leinster, in Ledbury, in order to preserve our services in our town. Our whole purpose in calling these demonstrations and the mass lobby of Herefordshire Council this coming Friday from 9 o'clock, and then when the public can go in to the full council debate, the special council debate at 2:30, and I urge all of you to bring all of your colleagues and as families and friends, as many people as we can, to pack into Shire Hall to listen to that debate. That's essential. That's our next target. How many of you can be there? Let's have a show of hands. Yay! We need to be at that debate. We need to put the pressure on the councillors. Now, the Conservative group among themselves are massively concerned over this programme. We don't know what's going to happen within that Conservative group, but one of the things we should be thinking of, the opposition councillors ranged against the Conservative councillors, there is only a majority of one. Now, that's why it's our job to put pressure on for that debate, because they are looking to what might happen to them come the 2015 elections. So, the campaign has started and we keep it going. Behind the scenes, there are some talks happening, we understand. And that's why we've got this full council debate, and it's why the Cabinet just didn't vote this through on Friday, yesterday, Thursday. It's very fast moving. So forgive me a little on that. But my message, the message from us here in Unison is this. This is only going to be knocked back. We are only going to get concessions to the cuts proposals and the budget reductions and the job losses if it's a united fight. We can try and get the opposition councillors to unite together over this, and for us as a trade union to be at the forefront of that fight. So, once again, let's hear it for public services in Herefordshire. All those say aye! Aye! Is the fight going to go on? Yes! Are we going to be there lobbying Herefordshire Council on Friday the 24th of May? Yes! Thank you all for turning out today. We need people carrying on with the petition as arranged until 12 o'clock. Give out our leaflets, spread the message, go online, sign the 38 Degrees petition, sign the petition today, bring everybody to the bus lobby this coming Friday, and we need some people lined up with David and I to do some interviews for BBC in Hereford and Worcester straight after the 12 o'clock news today. So if anybody is up for that, make themselves known to David and I. And most importantly of all, start recruiting your colleagues into the union, because united we stand, divided we fall. Thanks so much for turning out today, and there's an announcement shortly from David, but give me some applause. We have a star in the making, I believe, a future politician.
Hello, my name is Eleanor. The library is a good place to be. Can we keep it open?
So if we could keep the petitioning going, folks, and if you could gather round anybody who wants to line up for doing some interviews for BBC Hereford and Worcester, that's great. And we'll see you at the lobby on Friday. But don't let's all disappear, let's keep it here for a while longer and keep the petitioning going. Thanks so much.
Very important. It's really belonged to the people. This book is a lot of knowledge and learning, and that's how I could put it to you.
Okay, lovely.